Underneath your seats is the prayer book that we will be praying from this morning. If you would, there are two large blue books. If you would reach under your seats, finding the smaller of the two, it's Mishkan Tefillah. If you would reach in and find the prayer book, and we're going to begin on in the back on page 644 with the singing of Hinei Ma Tov.
Hinei Ma Tov U'Manayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hinei Ma Tov U'Manayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hinei Ma Tov Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hinei Ma Tov Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hinei Ma Tov U'Manayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hinei Ma Tov U'Manayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad.
We turn away from our prayer books for just a moment. It is the privilege of every adult Jew to be able to wear a tallis, the symbol of the commandments. And as Kaylin and Zack become bar and bat mitzvah this morning, they now receive the tallis that they will wear for the rest of their adult lives from the loving arms of their grandparents.
To you with much love and affection, and we are so proud of the young lady that you have become, and we wish you all the best in the world for the rest of your life.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahit atef b'tzitzi.
Amen.
Zachary, what can I tell you? You've grown up before our eyes. We're proud of you. We love you. And we know you're going to be fabulous today and make us all proud. We love you.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahit atef b'tzitzi.
Amen.
Amen.
We turn now in our prayer books to page 293, and we continue with the morning blessings.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan l'sachirina v'chavim beinu v'bein lailas.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam pokeach v'ivrim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam matir asurim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam zokech kefufim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam rokach haaretz al hamayim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamachin mitzadei gaver.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam malbish harumim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hanoten la'av koach.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hama'avir shana me'enai ipnuma me'af hapai.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani b'tzelem Elohim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani ben chorin. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam ozei Yisrael b'gvura. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam ozei Yisrael b'tifara. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah.
Turning now to page 303, we continue responsibly with Ashrei.
Ashrei Yoshvei B'techa, Od Halucha Selah. Tehillah LeDavid, Arvicha Elhai HaMelech, Va'avacha Shemcha Le'olam Va'ed. Gadol Adonai V'Huva Ma'od, Ve'liklo Tui Ben Cheker. Hadar Kavod Hodecha, V'divrei Niflotecha Asicha. Zecher Ratucha Yabiu, V'tzikacha Yarnenu. Tov Adonai L'kol, Rachamav L'kol Ma'asav. Kavod Malchutcha Yomeru, Ukvurotcha Yadaberu. Malchutecha Malchut Kol Olamim, U'memshaltecha V'chol Dor V'ador. Einei Kol Elecha Yitzaberu, V'ata noten lachem et Tofan V'ito. Tzadik Adonai B'kol Deracha, V'chasida Kol Ma'asav. Ratzon Yirah Ya'aseh, V'et Shavatam Yishma V'yashim. Tahilat Adonai Edaber Pi, Uvarech Kol Basar, Shem Kedshei Le'olam Va'ed. Ve'anachnu Nivarech Yah, Me'ata Ve'ad Olam. Hallelujah.
We continue now on page 312 with the words of Hatzi Kaddish, and we rise as a congregation.
יתברך ויתקדש לרבה, יאמר יברח לזה וימליך מלכותי, לחיי כל ימי חון, ובחיי לכל בית ישראל, בעגלה, ובזמן קריב וימלאו, אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך, לעולם מיה. יתברך וישתבח, ויפאר ויתרומם וינשא, ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי לקודשה בריחו, לעילה מכל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה בלחם מטה, דמירן בעלמה, וימלאו אמן. ברכו את
Please join me.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Yotzer or vorei choshech, Oseh shalom vorei et hakol, Hameir la'aretz v'ladarim aleha berachamim, Utubo mechadesh bechol yom tamid, Maaseh Bereshit, Ma Rabu Maasecha Adonai, Kulam Bechokma Asita, Mal'ah Haaretz Kinyanecha, Titbarach Adonai Eloheinu, Al Shebach Maaseh Yadecha, Ve'al Me'orei Or She'asita Yevarucha Selah, Or Hadash al Zion Tahir, Veniskeh Kulanu Meheira Le'oro, Baruch Atah Adonai, Yotzer HaMeorot.
We continue together on page 316. Ahava Rabbah Ahavtanu, Adonai Eloheinu, Chemla Gedolah V'Teira, Chamaltecha Aleinu, Ba'avur Avotenu Ve'imotenu, Shevachu V'cha, V'telamdei Chukei Chaim, Ken Techanenu Utlamdenu, Hamrachem Rachem Aleinu, V'tein B'livenu Lehavin Ul'haskil, Lishmoa Lilmod U'lelamed, Lishmor V'la'asot U'kayam, Et kol divrei Talmud Toratecha Ve'ahava. V'ha'ereneinu v'toratecha, v'rabek liveinu b'mitzvotecha, v'yached levaveinu, v'yahava u'yirah shemecha, v'lo nevosh, v'lo nikalem, v'lo Baruch Adonai, Abocher B'Amo Yisrael B'Ahava, Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem
Please be seated. We continue on page 319.
וכל לבבך וכל נפשך ובכל מאודך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברתם ושבתך בביתך ולכתך בדרך ושוך וחב קומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך, ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. אמן.
Page 321. Sing the song of men and women joined in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come, the song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more, the song of a world reading, the song of peace.
Mi chamocha vaylim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh, norat ha'ilot, o seifel, shira chadasha shivachu geulim, לשמך שבת ויום יחד כולם הודו והמליכו ואמרו אדוני מלוך לעולם ועד. צור ישראל קומה בעזרת ישראל ובדחנו מחה יהודה וישראל גואלנו אדוני צבאות שמו קדוש ישראל ברוך אתה אדוני גואל ישראל.
Adonai sefatita ufiadite ilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor V'Hanona, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim V'Gomel Ha'ol, V'Zocher Hasei Avot V'Imahel, U'Mevi Gavla L'Ibnei B'neihem, L'Ma'at Shemo V'Ahava, Melech Hosei U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Mezrat Sarah. אתה גיבור לעולם, מחייך כל אתה ולשיח, מוריד אתה, מחכה חיים בחסד, מחייך כל ברחמים רבים, צומם נופלים והופך עולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב וירמיך, וכרז אל זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלך כל הארץ, כבודו אדיר אדירנו אדוני אדוננו מאדיר שמך בכל הארץ, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד אלוהינו הוא אבינו ומלכנו ומשיענו בנו וישמיענו ברחמיו לעיני כל החיים. אני אדוני אלוהיך, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון לדור ודור. הללויה. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גור לך, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גור לך. ולנז לצחים, ולנז לצחים, פרושת הנגיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש, לעולם לעולם ועד. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גור לך, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גור לך. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Please be seated. We turn our attention now to page 329, recalling the Sabbath day in the words of Yismachu.
ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. מקדשי שבי שבת, כולם ישבעו ויתנו ביטוב בחשבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. והשביעי רצית בו וקידשתו שבת, חמדת ימים אותו קראת שבת. וישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת. זכר למעשה וראשית שבת, זכר למעשה וראשית שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת.
Page 330. On this Shabbat day, as you graciously receive our prayers, help us to hear your call. Give us enough health to fulfill our duties and the compassion we need to attend to others. Teach us humility, that we may perceive our own faults, and grant us the wisdom to be forgiving of others. Give us the courage to be true to our highest selves and the charity to see the best in those around us. We continue together. Give us patience enough not to become discouraged, hope enough to overcome all fears for the future, and faith enough to know your presence. O source of blessing, look with favor upon us. May our offerings be acceptable to you. We praise you, Adonai, whom alone we serve in reverence. Baruch atah Adonai, she'odcha levadeka v'yirah na'avod. And on page 334, again, we pray together in English this prayer of peace. O God, may we never become complacent, faltering in our efforts to build a world of peace. Let the nations know and understand that justice and right are better than dominion and conquest. May all come to see that it is not by might nor by power, but by your Spirit that life prevails. Praised are you, Adonai, who blesses your people Israel with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamevarech et amo Yisrael, b'shalom. We continue now in a few moments of our own personal and silent prayers.
O se shalom imaroma, uya se shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imaru, imru, amen. Yas shalom, yas shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yas shalom, yas shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yas shalom, yas shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yas shalom, yas shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Just a few words about this week's Torah portion. There are so many messages this week, and Kaylin and Zack will be reading from two different portions in the Torah this week, and I wanted to choose from a third of the many important messages that we see here in the Torah. We are late in the Torah, and the Israelites are about to go into the land of Israel, and again, Kaylin and Zack are going to give us an introduction, so I'm going to skip ahead to the message that I would like to share with you. It comes from the 14th chapter. It talks about various rituals that the Israelites should and should not engage in. It deals largely in this part of the Torah with a repetition of rule after rule after rule. And hidden within each of these rules are occasionally some of these phrases that jump out, jump off the page at one as you read it. Sometimes you would be going so fast that you might skip over it. For here in the middle of this 14th chapter, where they're talking about foods and tithes, about how one should or should not find the right types of food and animals that deal with the various levels of the dietary laws, the laws of kashrut. There is this one verse that explains why one is to do these various commandments. For you are a people consecrated to the Lord your God. The Lord your God chose you from among all the peoples of the earth to be his treasured people. Ki am kadosh atah, for a holy people are you. Ki am segulah atah, for a am segulah. And the rabbis looked at that, and in the Hebrew they were not entirely sure what that meant. For a sagul is a circle. The English translation, that's at the end, it says a treasured people. But to put a circle around you is really what it means. That to be a people that has a circle around them, what does that mean? In tradition, it has come down to talk about being a chosen people. I'm not entirely sure what that means. But an am segulah, a people around which there is a circle. And perhaps to broaden it a little bit in a moment, we will see how that could apply to all of us. The great commentator Rashi made this comment when he looked at Am Segulah. He said it suggests that the people of Israel are like a precious golden cup or a gem among a larger collection of cups and gems that belong to a ruler. They're all precious. They're all special. And they're not exclusive. All the peoples and the nations belong to God, writes Rashi. No people, including Israel, can claim that it is alone God's people. But some gems and some cups in the golden cup collection perhaps might stand out more. And in the ancient world, I do not want to apply the same principle necessarily today, but some may have shown a little more at that time. And that we all know, those of us who have multiple children, is one more treasured than another? No. But our children are more treasured perhaps than other children. That there are relationships that have a sagul, a circle that is around it, that we draw lines in the sand in the English idiom, that we say that there is something that we are going to guard fiercely, that we are going to treasure, that we figuratively put up on the mantle. How many of us have in our households some painting by our children or our grandchildren? How many? I have plenty of them sitting on my mantle, yes? Great works of art. Would anyone like to bid $1,000 for my children's finger painting? No? No? It's a great work of art. I keep it there in a beautiful spot. And of course, I don't know if this is in vogue. My children are a little older, but you know, we used to go pottery painting all the time. And if you have one of those little mugs that your children painted for you or a grandchild gave to you, I see some nods in the front end there. Yes, right, $12 probably with the fire in for that mug. But you treasure that mug as if it were a cup of gold. That some of these things have a treasure about them. And then there are the things that come across the generations. That some of us have special things that we have in our special little box of treasure, should we say, from generations past. Perhaps a watch that was handed down from a father or a grandfather. Perhaps it's a tallis that was from a different generation. Perhaps it's one of those pictures fading and we worry about how important that picture is. Now we can scan them and duplicate them. But there are those treasures in our lives, physical, that we hold on to, that we draw a circle about. We have other pictures that we treasure. We have other cups in our house. We have other pictures, probably worth a lot more than those finger paintings that we treasure so much. And for our young people, There are things that you treasure as well. Pictures of your friends, little trinkets that are mementos of other parties, of times with the friends, from summer camp that beat up letters, something that is a nice arts and crafts project that came along and that came back from those wonderful experiences. The idea of having something, as Rashi points out, that's a little more precious, a gem amongst gems, a cup amongst cups, a friendship amongst friendships, and a relationship among relationships. Today, many of you have given up something to come here today to celebrate with family and friends, to be here as Kaylin and Zack take their place amongst tradition, to see what it means for two young people to take time out of their busy schedules, out of doing so many things, that time too can be treasured. To say, I'm going to cut out of my busy day a little time to study, to learn, to write, to prepare. We see two young people who have taken their time. They have done it usually with smiles, very nice smiles when we've seen the smiles, and done what is required of two young people. And for those who have never had a bar mitzvah, they have taken a lot of time to do it. So as we look at this Am Segulah, this treasured people, but more accurately, this people amongst peoples that have this circle drawn around them, we might think in our own lives, how have we drawn a circle around us? Another commentator, drawing upon Rashi's commentaries, emphasized the conditional nature of that relationship, as a matter of fact. That this love, this intention, this loyalty is conditional. And though I made examples of family where love is unconditional, that mug, that picture, that will unconditionally always stay a treasured possession. But there are others, as we grow and change, that some of those possessions become a little less important, but we remember the relationship between people, between family, between loved ones, that is unconditional. And a message I think is important for our young people in the room to remember, that the relationship between siblings, parent and child, grandparent and grandchildren, that is an unconditional love, and a love that we need to treasure and make sure to build those walls around it. And as we find in such a busy world, a technological world, I read just the other week that our young people in a month exchange 3,700 texts a month. That there's a time when to turn off those texts, to look eye to eye, face to face, and to remind people of that treasured relationship. To use, I'm so surprised amongst our teens, they will often text back and forth. I said, does that phone actually call one another? They say yes. I said, well, why don't you call rather than text 100 times back and forth? They say, well, we like to text. I said, well, they like to hear your voice. So we remind each other. There's times when we actually hit the call button, literally and figuratively with each other, to remind of that Am Segulah, that relationship that has a circle, that is not about impersonal communication, but to remind ourselves of that deeply personal relationship, that conditional or unconditional love that we share. And in doing so, we will remind each other of those treasured relationships that we share. Kain Yehiratzon, be this God's will. We turn now back in our prayer books so that Kaylin and Zack can come forward, sharing the verses of Torah that they have learned and the messages that they will glean from this week's Parsha. And as we continue with the Torah service, I'd ask all those who have the initial honors in the Torah service to please come up to the Bima at this time. And as a congregation, we turn back in our prayer books to page 362, page 362, rising now for Seder Kriyat Torah.
Ma Yerushalayim, Hivachol Barevatachnu, Melech el-Ram ve'Isa, Adon Olamim, Ki mitzion teisei Torah, Ki mitzion teisei Torah, Udevar Adonai mirushalayim, Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah, Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah, Le'amo Yisrael, Migadosh Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonai, Kadosh Shema. God alone, Almighty, when I rob ma Shema Yachadav, Lecha Adonai, Hallelujah, Hallelujah, V'hatiferet, V'hanetach, V'had, Ki chol hashamayim uvaret, Ki chol hashamayim uvaret. Adonai Eloheinu, ve'ishtachavu lehar kodeshah, ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Kolam Shama, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Kolam Shama, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
Please be seated. In the Torah commentaries, now underneath your seats, there is an additional book, the Torah commentaries. If you would reach underneath, if you wish to follow along with the Torah and the Haftorah reading in a few moments, as Kaylin will be reading first. You may follow along. If you look on the spine of the book, it is either says edited by Rabbi Hertz or edited by Rabbi Plaut at the bottom. We have two different commentaries. If it is a Hertz commentary, you can turn to page 799, and there you will find the beginning of Kaylin's verses. If it's a Plaut commentary, it is on page 1417. Page 1417 or 799. Either way, Kaylin will begin with Deuteronomy chapter 11, verse 26 and following in the Hebrew.
Ya'amnu Yitzchak Be'ero ben Pinchas Mordechai, Basha v'Fruma bat Yitzchak v'Chaya, Aliyah LaTorah. Adonai Hamarach Le'olam Va'ed. Amen.
Amen. Re'eh Anochi Noten Lechem Hayom Baracha Ukulala Ehabaracha Asher Tishmeu Al Mitzvot Adonai Elohechem Asher Anochi Metzavechem Hayom V'Hakulala Im Lo Tishmeu Al Mitzvot Adonai Elohechem V'Sartem Min Haderech Asher Anochi Metzavechem Hayom Lalecha Acharei Elohim Acherim Asher Lo Yadatem.
Amen. Ta'amodna Rafael Amar Libat Moshe V'Yet Arisha Margalit Bat Nachman V'Rivka L'Aliyah LaTorah. Baruch Adonai Hamarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. V'haya ki yivyacha Adonai Elohecha el haaretz asher atah v'shama v'rishta v'natata et habaracha al har gerizim ve'et hakalala al har eval halohema be'ever hayarden acharei derech mever hashemesh be'eretz hakanani hayoshev ba'arava mul hagilgal etzel elonei moreh ki atem uvarim et hayarden lavo l'resh et haaretz asher Adonai Elohechem noten lachem v'rishtem otah v'shavtem ba. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam natah b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Yamdu Moshe ben Rafael Margalit Ve'yet Avisha Bat Yitzchak Berol Frumel Aliyah LaTorah.
Just a note, as all of your, if anyone who's following along in the Plough commentary, it's going to skip just 2 pages, so you can keep following along with Kaylin's reading from page 1417. It'll skip in just a moment to page 1420. She's picking up now with chapter 11, verse 32.
Baruch Adonai Hamarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Kol hachukim ve'hamishpatim asher anochi noten lifnechem hayom ela hachukim ve'hamishpatim asher tishmeru ma'aseh ba'aretz asher natan Adonai Elohei אבותיך לך ורישת כל הימים אשר אתם חיים על האדמה הבית יעבדון את כל המקומות אשר עבדו שם הגויים אשר אתם יושבים אותם אלוהיכם על ההרים הרמים ועל הגבעות ותחת כל עץ רענן.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת וחיי עולם. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu Et Torto. Baruch Ata Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
V'nitatztem emizbechotam. V'shibartem et matzei v'otam. V'asherehem tisrefun ba'esh. Usilei Eloheihem t'gadeun. V'ibadatem et shemam. Min hamakom hahu. Lo ta'asun ken. L'Adonai Eloheichem. Ki im el hamakom. Asher yivchar Adonai Eloheichem. Mikol shivtechem. L'asum et shemo sham. L'shichno tidreshu. Uvatasham. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher natan lanu Torah emet v'hayei olam natan b'techinu. Baruch Ata Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
My Torah portion is called Re'eh. I read chapter 11, verse 26 through chapter 12, verse 5. Basically, in my Torah portion, Moses leads the Israelites through the desert on a 40-year expedition, and they now stand in modern-day Jordan. They are about to pass through the valley where the Jordan River is located and into the land of Israel. Moses gives the Israelites a series of long speeches, knowing that he is about to die. Moses, in the name of God, tells the Israelites that if they choose to follow the commandments, they will be blessed, and if they choose not to follow the commandments, that will be a curse. He told them that they must live by the rules, blessings, and curses when they had occupied the land. A very important rule he told them was to worship God in only one place, which we now know to be the temple in Jerusalem. The message of my Torah portion is when in charge of yourself, so have a fair and honest system. This could apply to many different situations, such as government, school, and even the way sports are played. I believe that the United States has a fair and honest government system, even though not all of you may agree. Our government is a democracy, which makes it so that no one person has too much power. Also, our voting system makes it so that everyone's voice is heard. Countries with corrupt governments or dictatorships, in my opinion, do not have a fair and honest system. Assad, the brutal dictator of Syria, rules by force, and citizens ultimately have no say in the government. I don't think it's fair for one man or woman to have all the power in any country. The world of sports also relates to my topic, and those of you who know me well know that I would make them relate to any topic I was given. There are rules in any sport that make up a fair and honest system. Without these rules, no one would trust the results of the sport. One specific rule regards steroids. As many of you already know, steroids are a performance-enhancing drug that some athletes take so that they can excel in sports. Using steroids is a very dishonest and dangerous action, not to mention illegal. It is also unfair to other athletes they're competing against because they are getting help in unnatural ways. Athletes taking steroids affect not only the athletes themselves, but also the athletes they are competing against and also young hopefuls and fans. For example, Marion Jones, a former track star on the American Olympic team, was forced to give her medals that she won while on steroids back. 3 of them were gold and 2 of them were bronze. This is an example of someone not abiding by the system and being cursed because of it. Fans and young hopefuls of sport were affected because they had trusted Marion and looked up to her, and now they realized she wasn't as she seemed. Steroids affected Marion Jones because she probably felt guilty about what she did and couldn't enjoy her wins to a great extent, knowing that it wasn't her talents that brought them on. Schools are supposed to be run by a fair and honest system. It's fair because if you finish all your work, study, and listen in class, you tend to be blessed with good grades. On the other hand, if you are disruptive in class and never listen or do your work, you tend to be cursed with bad grades. Honesty plays a large role in the school system. Cheating is a dishonest act that can throw the whole system off. If you are using someone else's answers, the teacher can't tell what you actually know, and therefore cannot teach you all that you need to know. Recently, in the United States, improbable test scores on achievement tests such as the CRCT have led to the discovery of cheating right here in Atlanta. The most surprising part of the whole scandal was the fact that it wasn't even the students doing the cheating, but teachers and principals. 178 principals and teachers were caught due to recent investigations. Out of the 56 schools investigated for cheating, 44 were found guilty. That is nearly 80%. The reason for the whole scandal was the ever-increasing pressure on Atlanta to show progress in their struggling school system. Basically, teachers and principals were creating false success. As I mentioned before, it is important to have a fair and honest system in factors such as government, school, and sports. However, it is also important to have one in your own home. If you don't grow up in an environment with fair rules and consequences, though you probably wouldn't call them fair when you were younger, you probably won't grow up to be a fair and honest person. I definitely think that my parents had no shortage of rules for me while growing up. Though my dad did teach me that some rules are meant to be broken when he always had to break the speed limit laws to get me to bar mitzvah lessons at the temple on time. Speaking of my parents, I would like to thank them for their support in me becoming a bar mitzvah. When I look back, I'm amazed that no one in my family called animal control while I was chanting Hebrew in my room to practice for my bar mitzvah because it probably sounded like there were tortured animals in my room upstairs. I would also like to thank my sister for being there for me when I would get stressed over my Torah portion and telling me to calm down. Of course, the tone of voice she said calm down and wasn't exactly calming, but at least you tried. Seriously though, I couldn't do it without the help from all of you. Thank you also to Rabbi Cohn, Rabbi Prass, and Cantor Adler. Without your help, there's no way I could have been well prepared for my bat mitzvah. Overall, I believe that if you want your world to be even remotely fair and honest, you have to set down a foundation of rules first, like Moses did in God's words. In our society today, rules are behind everything, from world government to sports to the school you attend. Without these rules, the world we live in would become an uninhabitable, dangerous place with no hope for a better tomorrow. Just remember, once you're in charge of yourself, set up a fair and honest system.
A beautiful message, Kaylin. I'm sure your father appreciates your total honesty today. We turn now to Zachary's reading in the Torah commentaries. If you were following along in one of the Hertz commentaries, Zachary will pick up on page 815. Skips a little bit ahead. Page 815, if it was one of the Cloud commentaries, you can begin following along on page 1448. 815 or 1448, and Zachary will begin reading with chapter 16, verse 1 and following.
Yamdu me'rom v'lezer v'ashav v'taybul v'baruch v'simyal al Torah. Baruch Adonai HaBarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaBarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam, Asher bo chavonu mikol ha'amim, v'nosar lono es torso. Baruch Atah Adonai Nosein HaTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Shamor et kodesh ha'aviv, ve'asita pesach, Adonai Elohecha, ki בחודש האביב, הוציאך אדוני אלוהיך ממצרים לילה, וזבחת פסח, אדוני אלוהיך צאן ובקר במקום אשר יבחר אדוני לשכן שמו שם. לא תאכל עליו חמץ, 7 ימים תאכל עליו מצה לחם עוני, כי בחיפזון יצאת מארץ מצרים, למען תספור את יוצאתך מארץ מצרים כל ימי חייך.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam, asher nosa lanu Torah emes, v'chayei olam notav b'sochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noseina Torah.
Amen. Tal yamdu le'yitka b'nei on the table, v'reikach ben Shimon Miriam le'yal Torah. Baruch Adonai HaBarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaBarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. V'lo yira'eh lecha se'ur, v'chol hirucha 7 ימים, ולא ילין מן הבשר, אשר תזבח בערב, ביום הראשון לבוקר. לא תוכל לזבוח את הפסח, ואחר שעריך אשר אדוני אלוהיך נותן לך, כי אם אל המקום אשר יבחר אדוני אלוהיך לשכן שמו שם, תזבח את הפסח בערב כבוד השמש מועד צאתך ממצרים.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam natav b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Yamdu Pinchas ben Shimon Miriam ve'Esther Rachel Shein Malka b'nei on the table al Torah. Baruch Adonai HaBarach Le'olam Va'ed. Amen.
Amen. ובשלת ואכלת במקום אשר יבחר אדוני אלוהיך בו, ובנית בבוקר וחלקת לאוכלך. 6 ימים תאכל מצות, וביום השביעי עזר לאדוני אלוהיך לא תעשה מלאכה. 7 שבועות תספור לך, מחכל חרמש בקמה תחל לספור 7 שבועות.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam natav b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Yamol. Abachur bar mitzvah
Baruch Lu et Adonai Hamorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamorach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Ve'asita chag shavuot l'Adonai Elohecha misat nivat yadcha asher titin kasher rechecha Adonai Elohecha ve'samachta lifnei Adonai Elohecha ata uvincha uvitecha ve'abdacha ve'amatecha ve'halevi asher bisharecha ve'hager ve'hayatom ve'ha'amana asher b'kirbecha B'makom asher yivchar Adonai Elohecha l'shaken shemo sham ve'zavachta ki ha'eved chayita v'mitzrayim ve'shamarta ve'asita et halukim ha'eleh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam atah v'tavim. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
My Torah portion was Re'eh. I read from Deuteronomy chapter 16, verses 1 through 12. In my portion, the Jews are in the desert, on the east side of the Jordan River, about to enter the land of Israel. Moses has been giving the Jews many long speeches. The purpose of these speeches is to prepare the Jews to enter Israel. Also, this is happening during the 40th and final year of wandering. In the verses I read from, God is giving the Jews laws about 3 important holidays. The first holiday is Passover. He gives them an important Passover law. You have to eat unleavened bread for 7 days. Also, the Jews must make a sacrifice in one central location. The second holiday is celebrated after we count 49 days. After Passover, we start counting the Omer. The Omer is a period of time in between Passover and the holiday I'm about to mention. The Omer signifies the period of time we wait in between Passover. The Omer signifies the days we wait for the wheat to grow. Shavuot is a holiday we celebrate after we count the Omer. People come together in one central location to celebrate the harvest. Shavuot means weeks because we wait 7 weeks for the holiday. The final holiday God gives the Jews is Sukkot. Sukkot means booths. During Sukkot, we gather in small shacks or booths called a sukkah. We eat a meal in the sukkah and stargaze during the night. The sukkah is at one central location. As you might have picked up, my verses are about the importance of people coming together in one central location. There are many ways that my verses relate to modern day life. For example, it is important for us to come together during sporting events. We need to support the players together. Also, if we cheer them on, we can help them build their confidence up. Although winning isn't everything, it is a lot easier to come out victorious if you've been cheered on and supported. Also, there are many other examples, such as when someone that you know dies, it is important to go to their minyan. The minyan is after the funeral, people go to say Kaddish. Kaddish is a prayer for the dead that can only be recited with a group of people. Also, you can help the family in which this happened by talking to them, offering condolences, and even simple things like walking their dog or babysitting their kids while they're at the funeral. Also, it is very important for families to come together to make decisions, solve problems, and support one another. Families need to come together to solve problems. The majority of problems don't fix themselves. We need to talk through these problems and try to work them out. Also, many families need to make family decisions. Some decisions that my family makes weekly are: what restaurant should we go for dinner? What color Gatorade should we buy from the store? And who sets the table on what day? There are some family decisions that we make that are bigger and harder to come to a conclusion. One big decision that I remember was my family making buying our living room couch. We all went to the furniture store.
I pictured us all wanting the same couch, as if it were meant to be. It could not have been any more of the opposite. We all had to compromise, some more than others, and come to a decision. I have so many people to thank for coming together to help me prepare for my bar mitzvah. Mom, thank you for always being there for me. Dad, you are always trying to help me and make me smile. I sometimes refer to you guys as my personal ATM. Whenever I need something, I come to you guys, whether it's advice or money, and I just go to my ATM for those services. Chelsea, in the normal bar mitzvah speech, when referencing a sibling, people say that even though we fight a lot, I still love you. But I'm not going to beat around the bush. We fight more than a lot, but I still love you. Bubby 1, thank you for taking me to and from my bar mitzvah practices. Bubby 2, you always tell people that you want to see 4 bar or bat mitzvahs. Well, good news, you have 1.5 to go. That's a feat by itself. Rabbi Cohn, thank you for tutoring me and helping me prepare for this day. Cantor Adler, thank you for fixing all of my mistakes that I made while learning what I need to know for this day. Rabbi Prass, thank you for helping me write this speech and helping me understand my Torah portion. Thank you to all my friends and family that are here today to support me as I become a bar mitzvah. It is such a coincidence that you are all here in one central location supporting me, when my Torah portion talks about people coming together in one central location to celebrate holidays. I hope that in the future we can start coming together more often to help one another.
Zack, likewise, a wonderful interpretation of your verses. I look forward to having you both come back in just a moment to chant for us the prophetic selection for this morning. But first, we pause for a moment, turning away from the Torah commentaries as we rise now, as the Torah is lifted and dressed, we rise together for Hanukkah.
וזאת התורה ששם משה לפני בני ישראל על פי אדוני יד משה כי הם חיינו ועורף ימינו ובהם נהגה יומם ולילה כי הם חיינו ועורף ימינו ובהם נהגה יומם ולילה כי הם חיינו ועורף ימינו ובהם נהגה יומם ולילה כי הם חיינו ועורף ימינו ובהם נהגה יומם ולילה.
Please be seated. We turn back in the Torah commentaries now as we turn to this week's Torah portion, the Haftorah portion. If you would like to follow along again, if it is a Hertz commentary, we are going to begin on page 944 and following. If it is a Plaut commentary, it is on page 1684. It is the Rosh Chodesh portion. It is for the beginning of a new month. We begin the month of Elul this week, the month that leads up to the high holidays. The way Kaylin and Zack are going to do this, whichever commentary you're in, it begins with chapter 66 of the book of Isaiah, reading verses 1 through 5 for Kaylin, and then Zack will finish up. We'll jump ahead a little bit to verse 10 and following. So verses 1 through 5, and then we'll jump ahead to verses 10 through 13. But first, a blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'nvi'im tovim Ratzah b'divrichem han'emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habacher b'Torah u'Moshe abdo u'Yisrael amo u'v'nviei ha'emet b'tzedek ko amar Adonai Hashemayim kisi v'ha'aretz hadom raglai Eze vayit asher tibnu li ve'eze makom menuchati ve'et kol ele yadi asata v'yu kol ele ne'um Adonai ve'el zeh abit el ani u'nchei ruach v'chared al devari shochet hashor makeish zoveach haseh oref keleb ma'alei mincha dam chazir mazkir levona mevarech aven gam hema bacharu b'darhechem uv'shikutzehem nafsham hafetza gam ani ehar b'ta'alu lehem Gurotam avi lahem ya'an karati ve'enone dibarti velo shameu vayasu hara be'enai uva asher lo hafatzti vacharu shimu devaronai hacharedim el devaro amru achechem sinechem menadechem למען שמי יכבד אדוני ונראה בשמחתכם והם יבושו.
שמחו את ירושלים וגילו בה כל אוהביך שישו איתם משוש כל המתאבלים עליך למען תנקו ושבתם משוד תנחומיך למען תמותו והתענגתם מזיז כבודה כי כה אמר אדוני הנני נוטה לך כנהר שלום ובנחל שוטף כבגויים וינקתם אל צד תנשאו ועל ברכיים תשעשעו כאיש אשר עמו תנחמנו כן אנוכי הנחמהם ובירושלים תנוחמו והיה מדי חודש בחודשו ומדי שבת בשבתו יבוא כל בשר להשתחוות לפני אמר אדוני ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם צור כל העולמים צדיק בכל הדורות האל הנאמן האומר ועושה המדבר ומקיים שכל דבריו אמת וצדק נאמן אתה הוא אדוני אלוהינו ונאמנים דבריך ודברך מדבריך אהור לישוב ריקם כי המלך נאמן ורחמן אתה ברוך אתה אדוני האל הנאמן בכל דבריו רחם על ציון כי היא בית חיינו ולעלו בת נפש תושיע במהרה בימינו ברוך אתה אדוני משמח ציון בבניך שמחנו אדוני אלוהינו באליהו הנביא עבדך ובמלכות בית דוד משיחך במהרה יבוא ויגע ליבנו על כיסא לא ישב זר ולא ינחלו עוד אחרים את כבודו כי בשם קודשך נשבעת לו שלא יקפא נרו לעולם ועד ברוך אתה אדוני מגן דוד על התורה ועל העבודה ועל הנביאים Elohim ועל יום השבת הזה שנתת לנו אדוני אלוהינו לקדושה ולמנוחה לכבוד ולתפארת על הכל אדוני אלוהינו אנחנו מודים לך ומברכים אותך יתברך שמך בפי כל חי תמיד לעולם ועד ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
What a wonderful chanting both of you did. I know that all of us here thought this was a beautiful reading from the Torah and your Haftorah. What a joy you have been. I've been watching your folks in the front rows, what smiles have been on their faces and what a blessing you have been to the congregation today. And I know your parents would like to come forward at this time, offering up some words of blessing for both of you at this moment.
First, I'd like to say to Robin and Bill, it's just a wonderful joy sharing this day with you and learning you and your family and Bubby 1 and Bubby 2. It's been great getting to know you. Thank you for making this a great day. Kaylin, your father and I love you so much, and we are so proud of you today and always. We're proud of you because you're such a compassionate, generous, loving girl, not just to us, to your sister, which I know is hard sometimes, but to everybody, to your friends, to people, animals. So it's just a joy for us today. Daddy is going to read a prayer.
Thank you, O God, for this joyous occasion as our daughter Kaylin reaches this important milestone in her life of becoming public. We give thanks for the privilege of seeing our daughter grow day by day, week by week, year by year. We are grateful to God for the privilege of passing along the gift of life which she gave us. We are grateful for the 13 years of nurturing this life, for the unnumbered joys and the challenges which these years have brought us. Watch over her, O God, on this special day and every day. Grant her a growing understanding of the true significance of this occasion and a deepening loyalty to everything that it represents. May the teachings of our heritage guide her throughout her life. May she lead a life which reaches her full potential. Kaylin, we're so proud of you. Your mother and I love you very much, and wish you much success and happiness as you go on to the next stage of your life.
Let me just say, Kaylin, you did a wonderful job. And Alyssa and Marty, it's been a pleasure meeting you guys and sharing this info with your family and getting to know you guys. Zack, when I first laid eyes on you, I was standing about like I am now, just over your mom's left shoulder. Your mom couldn't see you because she was behind the curtain, but the first word out of my mouth was perfect. And now 13 years later, 13 years and 2 days, here you are, and I have the same word for you, perfect. I'll love you forever, and I'll always be proud of you.
This is the day the Lord had made. Let us rejoice and celebrate on it. With gladness and thanksgiving, we praise you, O Lord our God, for having kept us alive and sustained us and enabled us to reach this day. We give thanks for the wondrous privilege of seeing our son grow day by day, week by week, year by year, for the health and strength you have given him, for the mind and spirit which you have endowed on him, for his ability to elicit and return love. For all these precious gifts, we thank you. Watch over him, O God, on this special day and every day. Grant him a growing understanding of the true significance of this occasion and a deepening loyalty to everything which it represents. May the teaching of our heritage guide him throughout his life, and may he lead a life worthy of your blessings. Amen. Zack, I love you. You did wonderful. I'm very, very proud of you.
And to share in the joy, I want to invite your happy and proud sisters up to join us here on the pulpit as we give thanks to God for giving life, sustaining life, and allowing us to join together in this special occasion.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, שהחיינו וקימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
To rise now as we are witnesses to an age-old tradition, the passing of Torah from one generation to another. Little game of hide and seek with the Torah. Zack and Kaylin, as you receive this Torah now, you receive it through the arms of your fathers, with blessing from your mothers. You do so, though, from this generation, but it also comes from the generation before them and before them and before them. The tradition is a heritage. We spoke about a heritage just a few moments ago when you were in my office. A heritage is something you receive, you hold on to, but you also pass on. One tradition I'd like to share is that when the letters are written in a Torah, the scribe once taught me that at first they can be flaked off very easily. It's only over time that the letters actually die into the parchment. They become part of the parchment, so that even if the top layer were to flake off, the letters have actually soaked into the Torah. Your job is to hold on to the Torah. Your job is to let the words of tradition soak into who you are, to become part of everything that you are, and then to pass it on to another generation. And so as each of you receive this Torah from the arms of your father, Kaylin, first you, with these words of blessing, remember to hold on to it and let it soak in.
This is the covenant that binds Israel to the one and eternal God. This is the Torah, a light for our eyes and a lamp for our way.
The Torah is God's choicest gift to the house of Israel. Israel without Torah is like a body without a soul.
We remain standing now as we return the Torah to the Ark. Our service continues back in the prayer books, in the Mishkan Tefillah prayer book. The service continues on page 374.
Hallelujah, Shem Adonai, Yitzchak, Shem Olevado, Adaleret, Veshamayim, Vayarem Keren,
We read responsibly on page 375. When Torah entered the world, freedom entered it.
The whole Torah exists only to establish peace.
Its highest teaching is love and kindness.
What is hateful to you, do not do to any person.
That is the whole Torah. All the rest is commentary. Go and learn it.
Those who study Torah are the true guardians of civilization.
Honoring one another, doing acts of kindness, and making peace. These are our highest duties.
But the study of Torah is equal to them all, because it leads to them all.
Let us learn in order to teach.
Let us learn in order to do. Eitz Chaim Agi, Lama Chazikim Ba, V'Tom Achecha, Me'ushar, Derachecha, Darchei Noam, V'chol Netivoteha, Shalom, Hashivenu, Adonai, Elecha v'nashuvah, Chodesh, Chodesh Yameinu, Chodesh Yameinu, Yakarem.
Please be seated. Well, Zack, Kaylin, you have done a great job. You have, I think, impressed us all here today. But I think you've also impressed us today, for anyone who knows you, because of the people you've become. That to become a bar bat mitzvah, it doesn't happen overnight. To become a bar mitzvah does not happen because you stood up here and you chanted and you read and you studied. That's not what it means to become a bar or bat mitzvah. To become a bar or bat mitzvah means to be a person, to have grown into the kind of people you are. And in some ways, the two of you share certain things, a certain love of sports, whether it's basketball or softball and swimming over the course of the year, and your interest in sports, or whether it is in reading different books. I understand the Kindle bill is quite high, Kaylin. I remember us talking a little bit about that. If anyone hasn't given a gift card for Kindle books would be a nice one. For Kaylin, I understand as well. Or whether it is designing websites, something that I completely don't understand. I love technology, Zack, but that one is completely beyond me. So you both have your own skills in various ways and your own interests. Whether it is more social studies, more language arts that you like, an ability to write and to compose, an ability to see the world in a different way, that for each of you, the world is open and available, and each of you come to it with your different gifts and your different talents. But you become a bat and a bar mitzvah today. And the question is, what is a bar and a bat mitzvah? A bar and a bat mitzvah is someone who's ready to be an adult in the eyes of Judaism. You still go back to school on Monday, so you're not quite full-fledged adults just yet. But to be an adult means that you understand the morals and the values of what it means to be part of our tradition. That when you see a need, and someone is in need, you go to them. When you see that something is wrong, you say that's wrong, and we need to make it right. That's what it means to become a bar or bat mitzvah. It means to use your minds, to use your values, to use your heart. And I could say, standing in front of all of your family and friends, that you two are indeed a bar and a bat mitzvah. And it doesn't mean, though, that you are just a bar or bat mitzvah today. You have to become a bar or bat mitzvah the rest of your lives. You have to continue to go out there and say, this is right, this is wrong, whether it is on the sports field, whether it is in a group of gathering with your friends, whether it is in anything you do. You are now in charge of your moral lives. Mom and Dad are still in charge of you and all other things. But you need to say, I now know what's right and wrong. I am now going to take an added responsibility of understanding those values. You both spoke beautifully about the challenges the Israelites are going to face as they go into the land of Israel. That was what your Torah portions were about. You knew that very well. When the Israelites go in, we talked a little about, Moses won't be with them. Mom and Dad won't be with you at all times. They'll always be there to help you, to support you, to be there to be asked for advice. But now part of being a Jewish adult is kind of like the Israelites going into the land of Israel. They've taught you many things. The Israelites were taught many things. It's now their job to put that into practice. You spend, as most kids do, more time away from your parents than you do with them. And it's your job to always, though, remember, what would they tell me to do if they were here? Your job also as a rabbi is to say, what would my tradition tell me to do if the rabbi or the cantor or my religious school teachers or my teachers weren't here with me? And sometimes we stand up here and I tell young people this, and I worry if they're going to get that message. But I think the two of you understand right from wrong, how to stand up for what is right in this world. And so it is such a joy and a pleasure to know whether it is in what you read that you will see values, whether it is in the sporting arena that you'll see what's right and wrong. Both of you spoke about those values, whether it is in the camp where you have spent 4 summers or 5 summers now, 4 summers now, Zack, and with your camp friends, or in any place that the two of you find such meaning in your lives, not the least of which, of course, is school and your school friends. But that you remember, and when someone says something in the back of your mind, you don't have to stand right up and say it, but you say in your mind, hey, I'm a bar mitzvah, I'm a bat mitzvah. I know what is right, and I'm going to do that. And then you're not just a bar mitzvah, you're a mensch. And that's what I know everyone out here hopes for you, that you are a mensch. And in your lives, you always find that goodness and wholeness that your parents wished for you from the day that you were born. And so it is a pleasure to invite you now both before the ark so that the cantor and I might wish upon you both a special blessing on this day. If you would all please rise. May God bless you and watch over you. May God look upon you and be gracious to you. God looks upon you each and every day of your lives, and you feel that abiding blessing of shalom, the blessing that your parents wish in your life, your grandparents, this entire community, a feeling of shalom and shalem, of wholeness and peace in all that you do. And to this we can all say, Amen. Please be seated, and now it's a pleasure to invite one of our past presidents, Harold Kurtz, who will present you both with a few tokens of this day.
Kaylin and Zack, you all did a wonderful job today. Mazel tov to both of you. I enjoyed being part of the congregation as you led worship. One of the things that we talked about earlier this morning in Torah study was Judaism being a religion and culture of gratitude. And it was a pleasure being in the congregation today while you led us in worship to God for gratitude for all the things that we have. The congregation would like to continue its partnership with you in continuing your Jewish education. We urge both of you to continue your education, first through our post-bar bat mitzvah onig program, and then hopefully you'll consider Weber Jewish Community High School for high school, and certainly as you go forward to continue in adulthood for Jewish studies and your connection with the Jewish community and with Israel. We wish your families a hearty mazel tov on today for all the support they've given to you, and again, a marvelous job today. In commemoration of today, the Brotherhood would like to present to you gifts of Kiddush cups for you to help welcome the Shabbat and each of the holidays. From the Sisterhood, a token of appreciation is a donation to the Sisterhood's Yes Fund, which is for the youth and education programs. And then for your Bar Bat Mitzvah commemoration, a certificate, Kaylin and Zack, from the Board of Trustees of the congregation and the congregation itself. Again, a hearty mazel tov to you. Thanks very much for today. Welcome back.
In addition, it's my pleasure to present just a few more tokens of this day that expressing our synagogue's long connection with the land of Israel, something that you both have, I know, learned much about, that there are two certificates here for each of you. One comes from the Federation of Greater Atlanta for the Passport to Israel program that you might use in your high school years for a trip to Israel, as well as from Tefti, our senior high school youth group, for Nifty in Israel towards a reform movement program in Israel. And Kaylin, I see that your family has chosen to invest in the land of Israel through an Israel bond as well. And so it's a pleasure to present that to you on the pulpit this morning. And that we hope and pray that you all will be able to visit Israel one day to see that which we've talked about. The vibrancy of the land of Israel has been so much part of the history of our people as well. Zack, Kaylin, mazel tov to you both. Mazel tov. We move now to our concluding prayers in the prayer book, turning back as we rise for Aleinu L'Shabeach on page 586. Page 586.
Aleinu L'Shabeach V'Adon HaKol V'Tei Tenuach L'Yotzer Reshit Shelo Asani V'Yeh HaRatzon V'Lo Samani Mishpatot HaAdama Shelo Sham Kalkeinu Kahem V'Gor Aleinu B'Chol HaManah V'Anachnu Korim V'Nishtachavim Uvadim L'Ifnei Melech Malchei HaMelachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Shehu Notei Shamayim She'eser Haaretz U'lo Shem Yekaro B'Shamayim Yimla'ah V'Shvinatu Zo V'Shvinatu Zo V'Gol V'Meromim U'Eloheinu Eno Emen Malkeinu Efes Ulato
Adonai, Hu Elohim, Vashamayim Milad, Ve'al haaretz, Ve'al haaretz, V'yitkach, Ein Od, Ve'ne'emar, Ve'haya Adonai, Lemelech al kol haaretz, Vayom Hahu, Vayom Hahu, Yeh Adonai Echad, U'Shemo, U'Shemo, U'Shemo Echad. Please be seated. As we turn now to page 598, our thoughts turn to those who departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. Here at Temple Emmanuel, we observe the Shloshim, the recent 30-day mourning period for Bernard Klug, Dean Amelkin, Elaine Pollock, Teresa Flederman, and Alberto Israel. From across the years, we think of these dear individuals whose yahrzeits occur this week: Jules Ballenberg, Brenda Benrock, Lucille Berman, Molly Brothers, Jean Colbert, Robert Feinberg, Louis Goldstein, Bertha Goldstein, Arthur Gudelman, Philip Hacker, Leonard Holland, Judith Kalman, Mort Lafar, L. Frank Levy, Leah Mazier, Francis McGew, Marilyn Mizell, Henry Miller, Leah Nassimi, Gerald Newport, Lena Rubenstein, Alvin Salenfren, Nathan Schilling, Beulah Schnadig, Judy Schnatzer, Celia Silverman, Mildred Solo, Benjamin Stempler, Molly Trell, Ned Weinstein, and Oded Nahum Zukro. If anyone is observing a yahrzeit here whose name was not called as I look around the sanctuary, please feel free to share those names with us. Yes, Jessica.
Julius Kahn.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm thinking of all of them, all those we name in our hearts and all those we continue to say Kaddish for. We rise now as a congregation, joining together in these sacred words. Yitkadam v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah, ve'amad yivrach yirtei ve'amlik malchutei, ve'chayim yomei hom, v'chayrei v'chol beit Yisrael, v'hagalah v'zman karev v'imru amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah v'rach le'olam u'lamei almayah. Yitvarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitpromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shemei Dekudesha Barichu Le'elam mikol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran ve'alma v'himru amen. Yehei Shalom Rabba Min Shemaya V'chayim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael Ve'imru Amen. Oseh Shalom B'Broma Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael Ve'imru Amen. Zichronam Livracha, may the memory of all of our departed serve as an abiding blessing. We move to conclude our service now. We want to invite parents and siblings back up to the pulpit to rejoice with their son and daughter. As a congregation, we turn to Kiddush in the back of the prayer books on page 604. page 604 for the morning Kiddush.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם כי ששת ימים מסר אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ וביום השביעי שבת וינפש. כן מלך אדוני את יום השבת ויקדשנו, ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם בורא פרי הגפן.
Our closing song this morning, I see we have a guest cantorial soloist. Chelsea is going to help us out. Our closing song this morning will be Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. And so that we all might be comfortable enjoying a meal, whether we're having the meal here or going on to other receptions, we join together with the cantor in thanking God for the food we will eat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Mekorach Haim, God, the source of life, we thank you for all that is good and enduring in life. We thank you for the privilege of being able to join together with dear friends and family of watching two young people step forward as they learn what it means to take their place in tradition. Oh God, even as we have been strengthened here, we remember Adonai Oz Le'amo Yitain. Oh God, you grant strength to us as we come together to remember those things that we treasure in our life. Adonai Oz Le'amo Yitain. Adonai Yivarech Tamo Shalom. Oh God, even as you've given us strength, as we go forth this morning, we pray, oh God, that we feel that blessing of shalom in our lives, in all that we hold dear, and indeed in this world, that you grant all of us your special blessing of shalom, of peace, and to this we say, Amen. Shabbat Shalom, my friends.
Sit the line. Sit the line. I'm not eating here. What do you mean?
Well, I went for 8 years, and looking back, it didn't really. Looking back, it was not my most favorite thing that I did. You went for 8 years? Yeah, and I never looked forward. You know, I was fine when I got there. I never looked forward to going. Like,
where'd y'all find this photographer?
I'll go.
Are you going?